So, yeah, we have my good friend Pajama Jordan McBride on the keys, and I've known Jordan for quite a while. He's a very creative poet and thinker. He's a thinker too, and he's also an actor. He's acted in several of the plays that I've produced, so I'm really happy to have him here. Love you, brother. All right. So, getting down to the main part of our introduction here is Miss Bethany Dodge. And here's what Bethany has told me about herself. And I have, if you saw the story in the hometown news about her, I moved some of the stuff around and pretended I was a newspaper writer. But Bethany herself said that she's a poet native to the east coast of Central Florida, and she is thoroughly enamored with the art of lyrical storytelling and liberated self-expression. And any of you who've heard her read before know that's true and know exactly what that means. She said she stumbled on poetry, consciously anyway, in their backyard at sunset on July 7th in 2024. It sounds like a evangelical Christian telling me when they were saved, but sorry about that. And the journey has rarely ceased to heal, empower, and entertain her since. She says her work is inspired by her tendency for tireless self-reflection, as well as her bodily synesthetic, did I say that right? Experience, the full spectrum of human emotion, the frequent metaphysical musings, her cat Lion, and the inherent poeticism of life itself, which I think that's true, and I'm glad she's inspired by it. Her first collection of poetry, Cosmic Cormorant, is coming out later this year. We're working on it now. She's Reiki certified as a recent graduate of the massage therapy program at Daytona State College, and she's very excited to embody her passion for supporting other humans. She prefers to see, feel, and interpret the world through her mantra that life is art, and she does that by sharing her poetry. So, Bethany Dodge, would you please come up and join us?
Thank you.
Thank you. And are you going to do that thing that you like to do?
I was actually planning on it.
Yeah.
Well, the thing that he's talking about is like getting into my body. So if you would all like to join me and just like get comfortable where you're seated and like be like weird. Like you can move yourself in weird shapes and it's fun to do that because we're here. So, the first poem I have for you, well really it's for me. It's all for me. And then you're also here, which is a beautiful thing. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you, Gary, for that introduction that I mostly wrote. This is called Gaian Hygiene. The label on my sandalwood incense describes the scent as woodsy and clean. That's what I want to be, woodsy and clean. Made to be so as I nature bathe in Florida forests in the Atlantic Ocean and soak in the sun like a solar sponge and remember how it feels to be human and fully charged and cleansed with this most raw and sustainably sourced supplement of vitamin D. The beaming is a mutual thing. Why don't we talk more, I wonder, about this cosmic, cost-free pharmacy? Prana, ki, life force energy, naturally revitalizing the entirety of my being. Healing my frequency as Earth speaks to me in any form that she pleases to be, and myself, oh, so romantically, but still really, truly, an eternal student of falling leaves and birdsong and breeze, constantly reiterating the lesson summary that this is what I need more than anything. Conscious, comedic, caring, planetary, camaraderie. camaraderie, growing ever more artistically designed and synchronistically timed as we gradually shift into the 5D. I am just a girl in her backyard, reconvening with the bees and lizards and trees and remembering how to breathe again. But this is history in the making, my friend. Thank you. This one is called Cat and Muse Game. Make something weird. Do something different. Tell me a story. Just please tell me a secret. I want you to write like a cat with the zoomies. He does not give a damn who's watching. He does not attempt to be impressive or coordinated, or adhere to a catchy rhythm, or try to wind up in any one corner of the room. He simply senses the feline fire igniting at the very follicles of his fur, and he expresses that intuitively and accordingly. He does it for a reason, a purpose, because it feels so good. So zoom, kid. Zoom like your 9 past lives are all stuck in a karmic loop, and they're depending on this, with a simultaneous awareness that reincarnation itself is for entertainment purposes, and it's never actually all that serious. Thank you. And this is called Returning to Present Tense. I am so over. I am so over feeling terminally sorry or chronically apologetic for the fact that I am currently in existence on this planet. I am so done with our indoctrinated background frequency of shame and guilt and anxiety, that which, when gone unregulated, feels like an asphyxiating parasite taking over everything and slowly cutting off my oxygen until I lose my grasp on reality. And this has the potential to happen daily, and it is just so incredibly annoying. I am finished with attempting to make it through this whole life as some made-up version of myself who has to do everything just right or else. My presence is not meant to be simply permitted or tolerated. I do not need to prove that I'm worthy of being honored, and I do not need to earn my place here or meet some external existential quota or win at some collectively agreed upon yet entirely imagined rat race. Because I spent so very long attempting to place or secure my status in a worthiness competition that was rigged and fabricated to begin with, and now it just feels boring, and I'm over it. My being is intrinsically woven into the divine, infinite, perfectly timed web of this existence, and it is magnificent. I am cosmic event, currently taking the form of a human girl living on the east coast of Central Florida. I am not a burden, I am a gift. And I am not meant to be endured or forgiven. I am designed to be experienced and celebrated in every sense. For God's sake, literally. This one is partly because of Father's Day. It features my dad. You heard it the other night. It's also because it's really fun to share. So, it's called Drama Queens for Helene. As my dad switches the channel to a live stream of the hurricane just beginning to lord over South Florida's solid ground, an intense rhythmic tune begins to play with anticipation, its beat amplifying the longer we sit there. As it builds, I gurgle forth a contained but pained, visceral noise, sit up on the couch in a frenzy, turn to my dad with fingers shoved deep in my ears and shout through the twisted look on my face, "Human beings are so dramatic. Jesus, why do we need intense background music for this? Can you please turn it off?" Then he laughed and said, "I agree, we are dramatic," with a very pointed look in my direction. Which, fair. But I stand by the fact that we still don't need theatrical score to play on primordial fear about getting drowned out by a Category 4. It's just bad journalism. Thank you. And this one is called If You Know, You Volcano. In the midst of my most authentic creative expression and flow, the process tends to feel like an affectionate, intelligent, volcanic glow, encompassing my energy centers in steam and activating the channels in between as mutative magma burns through my bloodstream, and it ignites my aura, my mind, and my organs with this golden, raw, divine, and alive stream of molten rock. Sometimes it is slow-going and consistent. Other times, characterized by explosive, rapid, unpredictable movement, but the most important rule is that it never stays stagnant for too long, because there is danger in its hardening. I know that feeling. It makes limbs stiff and lungs tense, and I tend to forget who and why I am and what I love most about living on this planet, and everything feels so goddamn pointless. And in this state of petrified apathy and stuckness, I cannot explain how I got like this, and I cannot find a way out, because everything is blocked and blacked out by the igneous now. I am still figuring out how I can tend to the flames of my creativity with encouragement and patience, with love and gentility, yet also with a healthy, preemptive dose of caution and respect for its potentially volatile processes, the way I might for a needy business client, or a gremlin, or a volcanic island, or a newborn baby. And instead of crossing my fingers at an altar for Apollo or Calliope, I have a much more personal rapport with Pele lately.
You get time for one or two more.
Okay. So the time that I wrote this, I was journaling a lot. I'm always journaling a lot. And something that was coming out often was that I'm the queen of the kingdom within me, which is true. It was coming out, right, this came out around that time. That's why it's titled, I'm Not Just the Queen. I am the brave-hearted warrior, reserved strategist, and silently resistant, apathetic pacifist who wants no part in any of this and would really rather just be at home sleeping. I am the stone cottages and overpriced mills and fortified coquina walls and the gardens. I am celebration of fruitful harvests and the sparse hopelessness of dry season. I am trade and bartering and foreign relations. My GDP is self-reflectively measured. My worth or progress cannot be appraised by a human development index, and no extrinsic text or master or teaching can be the authority for my constitution or domestic policy. And, oh, have you seen the sweet yet regal imagery they used for that goddess carved affectionately into all their altars with firelight from the earth flickering across her ferocious, femininely curved figure as they kneel before her in prayer and in gratitude, with hands clasped in loving, abundantly rewarded devotion? Yeah, that's me too. This one is called I'm a 21st Century Intergalactic Version of Mr. Rodgers.
You did it, you killed the beat.
I don't know. I'm just going to listen to this one. I can't add to Mr. Rodgers now.
So, it's amazing. It's amazing how sparkly the night air gets, isn't it? It's incredible how when my local earthly habitat turns away from our light source each sunset, the picturesque illusion of blue overhead, that azure veil of separateness dissolves. And I get to peer out into our local branch of universe, out through the windows of our rocky living room on this massive, watery mothership, and into the immense realm of blazing suns and unnamed planets and vast alleged emptiness. When I greet, for the first time that evening, all the familiar faces within our little stretch of friendly cosmic neighborhood, when the Milky Way galaxy stretches across my periphery like Main Street, and I watch the lights flicker on, one block after another, I am not simply taken with the aesthetic. I'm not just excited because this is very beautiful. I am fused and fascinated, disbelief adjacent, and in cellular reverence because this is real. I lay on my back on my yoga mat in the wet grass and realize that I am looking down, hanging over the edge of my home planet, with only the cooperation of our co-created gravitational pull to stop me from falling and floating through the immeasurable. It is fabulously rendered, transformative to the core, incomprehensible and infinite. And I am therefore reminded that so am I. The night sky is one of my very favorite reflections.
Let's give her another hand. Come on. Our good friend Gordon. How's that?
Bleep, blarp, bleep, 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 blarp, bleep, bloop. My name is Bethany, and I'm back. This place is so cool, and I'm so grateful for it. And just thank you to everyone who, like, whether you've read or you're here, hold on 1 second. Just immense gratitude for all of the human beings and all of the poetry and everything about this experience. So, this poem is called "This is Not an Advertisement for Your Local Coffee Shop." Decaf ube latte from Copperline Cafe. I have been pondering you for days. I sit listlessly at my dining table in the midst of an idyllic spring afternoon in the front room of a perfectly habitat-conditioned space, no more than 15 minutes away from the coast of the Atlantic or the nearest stretch of uninhabited, preserved landscape, with an already satiated stomach and the whole world, truly, the whole holy frickin' world, open and available and God willing and God speedy for me. And yet, here I sit, frozen within my indecision and obsession, stirred and disturbed and desperately spurred by the mere concept of a bev I might leave the house to purchase. Stoic and anadonically delaying everything I'd been so stoked to create just this morning on the way home from a vinyasa flow. My notebook still open, excitedly scratched plans glistening with ecstatic, hopeful, less than a day old ink, and yet here I sit, not even nearing the edge of my seat, senseless and unfeeling to the wood of it beneath me. No kinesthetic awareness, no clairsentient connection to the message emerging through the tissue and the tendons, and I'd grown so accustomed to that. But instead I choose to allot my precious human consciousness to fantasize and ruminate on the taste of what could be, all while my own boundless potential buzzes, waiting at the tips of my fingers, pen, tongue, lungs, and autonomous decision-making. And yet, all I picture is a different moment, at a different table, sitting in a different chair somewhere not that far away, sipping on a decaf ube latte from Copperline Cafe. And this one is called Contractions. Boredom is my body's way of communicating to me that there is untapped creativity, locked and waiting to be released from my deepest, most rageful and passionate chakra. Her red-hot energy, bubbling, steaming, and pushing constantly to be expressed into form no matter what. Yearning, desire, mutation and force, insistence on freedom, will, power, divine inspiration, call it soul calling, potential energy, kinetic, voice action, and integration. Coiled and waiting in serpentile anticipation. For the moment she sinks fangs into body to infuse some benevolent venom which dissolves through the veins of this alive, beating, and self-sustaining existence I call reality, my consciousness, our consciousness, this cesspool of synchronicity, this steeply intelligent, self-generating beast, an elusive, ever shape-shifting creature with infinite limbs and faces, the ultimate multitasker. And today, one of her infinite neurons fired like an ember on a planet called Earth, and a poem was born. And this one I wrote in the airport after I just completed a Reiki training that weekend. It's based on a meditation and what I experienced during that, which was not necessarily what I expected or idealized beforehand. It's called Reiki Level 2 Placement. Laughing in the kitchen with my sister. Pages of my life flit by and whisper in the warm, gentle breeze. Often, I crave a cold, blistering wind which will freeze my fingertips and tunnel through the pores of my skin and sharpen all the corners of my facial features. I have somewhat of a penchant for arcane conditions. So much so that I sometimes forget the intention and magic of a warm, gentle breeze and the sound of inside jokes and laughter in the kitchen with my family. May child, Torian, do not forget, you are wildflowers and mushrooms sprouting up from rich dirt and fat earthworms. You are a relaxed grizzly, yawning and emerging in a new form, hungry for the whole world post-hibernation slumber. My child, you are not in a hurry, and you are never on your own. Yet you are always, enjoyably so, and only your own. So breathe in deep through your nose, and sit on this bench in the shade of an apple tree. Eat your freshly picked fruit in the warm, gentle breeze, as you both remember and create anew everything you came here to be. And this one wouldn't exist without this place and some of the people here. So it's called Jaywalking Jabberwocky. I used to get nervous whenever I was dialing the phone number to order takeout Chinese, with the very, very scary, although primarily subconscious, belief that my own voice would fail me. And even when there was absolutely no discernible threat to my safety, I would get anxious and tense each time I crossed the street, if the pedestrian sign hadn't lit up just right yet to affirm that I was indeed ready for my next step. But yesterday, I spent the evening speaking poetry at an open mic in a way that reminded me what being alive really feels like, as I felt the rumble of my vocal cords transmit my words like thunder formed from my ever-present inner lightning storm. And the vibration of my translation was received with overwhelmingly encouraging words and energy, and I sensed firsthand the sheer power of my own throat chakra release and unadulterated authenticity, and caught invigorating, prescient glimpses of the incredible path unfolding beneath me. And afterwards, as I traversed downtown streets on the way to my car, having been invited for dinner at a Chinese bar and restaurant to talk and eat with friends I'd made earlier just that evening, I walked through an intersection diagonally.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
Does that mean we're going